Hi friends, in this video we are going to see how to do the exception handling. What is exception, what is error, how to handle the exceptions and all we are going to see in this video. The first thing is, what is exception? See, when you are executing the program and all, you are having 100 lines of code. Okay, so at some point of time, okay, these 100 lines of code you are executing, at some point of time, like at 5th line, or for example at 50th line, you got some error. Okay, 50th line of code, you got some error. Okay, so with this error or with this abnormal execution, if you did not handle the exception, if you did not handle this line of code, it will not continue with the next steps. Okay, it will not continue your execution with the next steps. It will stop here only. It will stop this line only. Okay, so you can assume like you are traveling on the road, you met with some accident. We cannot be stay there only, right? We need to recover from there and we need to go ahead with our next steps. Similar case here also. So you are executing some program. Okay, some exception occurred. Okay, whatever the reason it is, different exceptions are there, I will tell you later. So at some line of code, the exception occurred, we need to recover from that situation. Otherwise, the execution will stop here only. It will not continue with the next further steps execution part and all. That is the reason whenever you are getting the exception means we don't know. In runtime, we are going to get it. Okay, exceptions are multiple types are there that we will see in shortly. And in runtime, whenever some execution abnormal flow occurred, okay, execution is halted here. Okay, exception occurred particular line of code. If you did not handle, then your execution will stop here only. It will not continue with the further steps. Let me show you one simple example. Okay, let me create the another package here. For example, my package name is exception example. Carefully understand here. For example, okay, this is our program, right? What I am doing is int j equal to, I am doing I divided by 0. Now you are going to get a arithmetic exception here. You are going to get a what? Arithmetic exception here. Let me take int I equal to 10. Okay, what exception we are going to get it? I want to print the j value. Okay, I want to print j value. What will happen? Let me execute this program and see here what will happen. See, you are going to get a arithmetic exception at line number 8 only. At line number 8 only you got the exception. This statement is never executed because here you getting the exception. It is arithmetic exception. Okay, so in these cases sometimes we may get exceptions. We need to handle them. Otherwise your execution will stop here. It will not continue with the execution. Okay, so similarly you can take another example also. You can take another example like I am having one of my array is there. Okay, it is integer array num equal to, I am giving just 10 comma 20 comma 30. Okay, but I want to access the value. This array size is what? 3, but I want to access, okay, num of 10. But 10th position is there in this array, it is not there. Now you are going to get array index out of bound exception. Because actual size is 3, see, array index out of bounds exception. Because index 10 out of bounds for length 3. So its size is 3, but you are trying to access 10th position. This is something like, okay, array index out of bounds exception and all. Okay. See, similar case you may get exceptions, different cases guys. See, for example, I am having string s equal to null is there. Okay, but I'm trying to get, okay, length of the string. Okay, length of my string s is, okay, so s dot length I'm going to use. See, s is null, s doesn't have anything, then you are trying to apply length. Now you are going to get a null pointer exception. Carefully understand here, null pointer exception you are getting because s is null. S is null, you are trying to perform some operation on it. So this is nothing but null pointer exception, guys. Okay, you are going to get the null pointer exception. Similar case also. Okay, so whenever you want to perform any exceptions and all, it will not continue with the next statement. It will stop here only. It will not continue with the next statements and all until unless you handle this exception. Okay, so that is the importance of handling the exceptions in Java. You may get different exceptions, IO exception you may get it. Okay, so element not found, if at all it is in Selenium, you are going to get it. And array index out of bounds exception, arithmetic exceptions, so many different exceptions you may get it, but you need to handle those exceptions. Otherwise, see, if you did not handle the exception, what will happen is abnormally your script execution will stop there only. It will not able to proceed further. Your execution will not continue. See, for example, after this line I am writing, okay, rest of the code, for example, rest of execution. Do you think this statement is going to work now? Because your exception is getting in this line, so this line of code will not be executed. Observe carefully. See, you got exception at 15th line. 15th line you got the exception. It will not execute the rest of the statements and all. Okay, so in those cases, that is the importance of handling the exceptions. You need to handle the exceptions, otherwise your script execution, whenever you get any exception, it will stop there only. It will not able to proceed further with the rest of the code. Okay, so you can see carefully here. Exception handling is very, very important, guys. See, for example, you have 10 lines of code. 5th line you are getting the exception. If you did not handle, remaining these all statements will not work for us. Okay, these all statements, remaining statements will not work for us. Okay, remaining all these statements will not work for us. So that is the reason you need to handle the exceptions. Usually these are all the three different type of exceptions or errors we may get it: checked exception and unchecked exception and error. Okay, so checked exception is something like, while compile time it is going to identify, okay, compile time itself it will identify the what type of exception it may throw. It may give what type of exception and all. Compile time only it will identify. Unchecked exception is nothing but it is a runtime exception. So you will find only in runtime. I will tell you with examples what is checked, what is unchecked. Error will be there. Error is something which you cannot handle. Okay, error is something which you cannot handle. When error occurred, yes, our script execution will stop there only. You cannot able to proceed further. For example, in your memory will be there in your machine. If memory is full, it is not able to process any requests, then you are going to get memory out of error. Okay, so that error you cannot recover. So later we need to see what will happen and all. But errors we cannot. Okay, difference between exception and error is exception you can handle, but errors you cannot handle. Okay, you cannot handle errors, you can handle exceptions. So that is how it will be there, guys. Okay, so we can handle the errors, we cannot handle the we can handle the exceptions, we cannot handle the errors. Similarly, we can see here the exception and errors, two different classes, where the superclass means parent class for these two classes is throwable. Okay, these are all the different type of exceptions we may get in runtime and all: arithmetic, null pointer, number format, or index out of bounds, IO exception, SQL exception. Errors means like these are all we may get it. Okay, so errors means like out of memory, virtual machine, or stack overflow. These are all the errors. But errors, guys, can we handle the errors? No, we cannot handle. Okay, but exceptions, yes, we can handle. How we are going to handle, we'll see. So So these are all about few keywords we are going to learn in the exception handling. Like one is try, catch, and finally throw, throws. All these keywords we are going to learn. Okay. So in the next session, I am going to show you how these keywords will help us to handle the exceptions and all. Okay. Different exceptions. You want to find the number format exception and all, for example. Very simple. See here, rest of the code. Let me comment here. Number format exception also you want to see. For example, string name equal to my name is there, Venkat. So I'm trying to convert it to integer. Int I equal to integer dot parse int of name I am giving. Okay. Now I am trying to print the value of I. I am trying to print the value of I value is. I am trying to print the value of I. Now carefully understand here. No compile time issues are there. Everything is fine. When we run it, what will happen? See carefully. See, number format exception you are getting, because here it is a string. You are converting it into integer. Okay, string we cannot convert it into integer, right? So that is the reason you are getting here number format exceptions and all. Okay, like this way, different exceptions you may get it. And in the next session, we are going to see how to handle these sessions. I mean, how to handle these exceptions and all with all these keywords. We will try to learn in the next session. So coming to this session, what we learned. So there may be a chance of getting the exceptions while executing the program. If we did not handle, execution will terminate from there. It will not continue with the rest of the lines of code. Then that is the reason exception handling playing major role to continue with our script execution. For example, you went to some ATM, in your account 5,000 is there, you are trying to withdraw 10,000. Your account is having only 5,000, but you are trying to withdraw 10,000. See, there the exception will comes. So when you enter 10,000, abnormally if ATM machine terminate you without showing any message or anything, then that will not be good to the end user, right? So that is the reason when you enter 10,000, it will go to the database, check it out. Then in the front end, it will display the error, insufficient balance in the account. Okay, so that is how exceptions we have to handle. Otherwise, our script execution will not be continued and it will terminate abnormally. So that is not recommended for any program, whatever we are writing. Okay. So that's all for this session. Yeah, in the upcoming video, next video, we will see about how to work with the try, catch, and finally throw, throws, all these keywords we will try to learn. Thank you.